but there's a major tributary coming down here, which cold water is still coming in out of the mountains. And the trout tend to gather down at the bottom in these cold pools and just kind of wiggle their gills through the cold water. And because trout are cold water fish, you know, that's where they'll stay until we get some major rains. And into the fall, the water tends to cool down a little bit more.
It's so pretty here. Did you see A River Runs Through It?
Yes, I did. Great movie.
I can just envision Brad Pitt is fly fishing on a big Blackfoot in Montana, and the browns are rising to his lure. It's just such a beautiful setting here.
Sure is. Hi, I'm Pete.
Hi, I'm Ken.
And welcome to the Landscape Journal. There's an environmental movement going on right now to bring native plants back into the landscape.
What Pete is talking about is a wonderful ecological approach to gardening. It requires less pesticides and less fertilizer.
And on this particular property, we've got some great examples of that. Let me show you a couple. Over the past 100 years, we've been creating very structured type sterile gardens. Now what we're recommending is more of a natural look, similar to what you see behind me.
These native garden projects, this kind of wildscaping, is beneficial to the birds, animals, and insects. It creates a habitat and a food source for them.
And once these native naturalized gardens have been established, it creates some great wildlife viewing in your yard.
Today, we're in the lower Hudson Valley of New York at a private residence. We're going to show you a perfect example of a naturalized garden space that's consistent with the local ecosystem.
Ken, we got a great example of 4 different types of plants growing in the one corner of this garden right here. We've got the white spruce, which you can see this particular tree is blue in color. They come in different shades of green. This one is more blue than green. You can see the needles are a little bit smaller so that it has a softer feel to it. And also, as you can see right here, it's got the Virginia creeper growing in it, which is a native vine which is using it as a trellis.
Is that okay?
It's okay for now, as long as it doesn't take over the tree and get too big. If it starts to really get up and take over the tree, you might want to prune it back a little bit.
It'll have a nice color in the fall.
Exactly. And then over here, Ken, we have the leucothoi, which is another native plant. Great plant because of its deer resistance.
That's really important in this area of New York.
It sure is.
They eat everything.
Especially this area. You're right. And then over here, we've got the mountain laurel, Ken. And as we know, the mountain laurel is one of the major mainstay evergreens growing up through the Appalachians right here. And as we saw early in the season, it's got this beautiful star-shaped flower.
And it being evergreen, it'll look nice in the winter.
It sure will. It'll give life to the garden in the wintertime. And then over here, Ken, we've got the shad tree. Amelanchier canadensis is the Latin name. And the reason why they call it shad is it's got these billowy white flowers early in the spring. And they say that when this thing is in flower, the shad are running up the Hudson River, as you know, if you're a fisherman, in early April.
Have you ever had shad roe?
No, I haven't.
Well, that's delicious. I'll make it for you sometime.
Oh, thank you,
nice
Ken.
Pinot Grigio, you'll love it.
Very good.
Black
Thank you
tie.
very much. I'm Pete.
I'm Ken.
And thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.